Previously on Talk That Talk.
I don't know what I missed as I was transitioning from my car to the house, but I would say, yeah, I know that if nothing else, people are gaining perspective. Like there are a lot of things that I didn't understand or I wasn't I don't want to say not open to because I'm definitely open to learning, but like wasn't exposed to like that mass band, those mass band conversations. We didn't have that in Virginia. So I didn't know about them until a few years ago. So I didn't, realize, some of the impact and some of the reach and some of the intent behind that stuff. So I think if nothing else, we're gaining different perspectives because a lot of times we operate in silos and we know what we know and are exposed to other things or aren't willing to learn other things. And I think just the conversations here and being able to show that you can disagree or not always understand something and still be respectful, that you can have conversations with varying perspectives and land on, I still not feeling what you saying, but still be adults and be respectful. And I think if nothing else, that's helping the culture. That's impacting the culture because all of us don't always agree. We don't always have the same perspectives on things. But I do think that opening dialogue, giving varying perspectives, being honest and being upfront and being respectful is just awesome in itself.
And I want to, because I think more than one person brought it up, but I actually want to talk about this mass band stuff for a second. I'm gonna bring it back up. I know it's a hot topic, but I'm gonna bring it back up. First things first. Shout out to the Virginia mass band.
Did y'all see that?
They were on Good Morning America. Did y'all know that?
I saw it and was like, oh wow, this is dope. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I thought that was dope.
Exactly, right? So, and it just so happens I was cutting the clips from that episode. And the same day I was cutting the clips, they were on Good Morning America. And so I want to say big shout out to them. As a matter of fact, they got donated 50 instruments from Music and Arts. So big shout out to Virginia Mass Band, man. Hey man, they out there doing it, and we can't hate on them, The other thing is, I'm gonna say this. I said one thing on the episode. I'm gonna retract what I said. I'm gonna tell you why. I retract what I'm saying. I think it was maybe about 2-3 days ago. I sat back and I said to myself, I would go to another mass band performance. Whereas on the show after we went to the Southern Georgia one, I mean not Southern, good Lord, but the New Orleans Georgia one, I said I probably wouldn't go back. But the reason why I'm actually changing my mind about that is I like to crank up too. Like a lot of people just think I don't like to crank up. I like to crank up too. Now like I said before, if I go, I probably won't stay the whole time. But I'm definitely gonna probably more or less go back to them. But it got to be the good ones though. I can't go to the I don't know. It depends on the situation. I'll put it that way. But yeah, so shout out to mass bands, dog. I'm an equal opportunity music educator, man. So I'm gonna give love to everybody. So I ain't hooked, Justin. I ain't hooked. But yeah, but I want to show love to all music educators and all musical opportunities. But the other thing is, as far as our conversations and impact, one of the things that I can appreciate, which I'm seeing a lot more of now, which one of my former students from PV mentioned it, and I saw Eddie shared his post. A lot of people are being a lot more conscious of the content that they're letting out now. If you notice, a lot of bands ain't letting out stuff no more. It used to be you got band room clips, you had this, you got that. Let me give you a sneak peek of this. No, people are like, no, you're going to catch what we catch, which are one of the many conversations that we've had before about keeping stuff in-house and then, letting it out when you feel ready, building that momentum and that thirst for wanting to see them, which I think makes people want to gravitate to the art more, And so I definitely am seeing these things happen. And I feel like a lot of these conversations are what's spearheaded, because a lot you already know how people are. A lot of people ain't gonna say, yeah, well, we took it from them. They gonna be like, hey man, I got an idea, let's stop doing, Some people just want to be the person who said they came up with it, and that's cool too. But I do want to. I believe that a lot of the conversations that we've had have definitely impacted the culture, man, in a great way. And I think that when it comes to the videographers and stuff like that, I still will say this. Get a contract with these people. Get a contract with these programs, man. Become their videographer. I think Ricky still does stuff with PVI. I don't know for sure. But I think he still does stuff with PV. Like, we know without a shadow of a doubt, if all the big time joints ain't gonna be there, I know Ricky gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? We just know that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, man. So I really do feel like we have truly impacted the culture in a way. And definitely this year, I the things I got planned, probably gonna do some other things. Gonna really open a lot of people's eyes. But I will say this again. Once again, we all gonna be in Houston at the National Battle of the Bands, man. So y'all gonna have an opportunity to come hang with us and check us out. We'll give you that information. Just make sure that you stay tuned. Because we got to talk some stuff and finalize some stuff.
I really shouldn't be this excited, but y'all, my bag's already packed. I'm like, super. It's like I'm going to a family reunion. Like I'm super. My mom was like, "You keep bringing up this trip." I'm like, "Girl, let me have my little moment." Okay.
You should be excited. I don't know. You should be excited. You should have your little tote bag. You should be ready to go.
I'm ready. Okay.
You got the nails did and everything, didn't you?
Nails, toes today.
I knew it.
Y'all gonna get this band camp here because my appointment. This was an impromptu trip. So my schedule not to next week, but hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But we're gonna have a great time. All right.
I'm really excited. I'm looking. Look, Quan is excited too. Quan got some stuff. Gonna have some stuff for me coming. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, man, I really do appreciate the conversation that we do have, and I really do feel like, and honestly, when I'm looking in other spaces too, I'm seeing a lot of people having the conversations that we didn't have. So I think that's super dope too. So yeah, man, I think that our conversations have really, really impacted the culture in a great way, and I just want to continue to have those conversations and push them forward. And man, if y'all are in the comments, y'all get out there and have them conversations too, man, and bring them up to the channel, man. We can all have them together. And then finally, after there's one thing I gotta say. I gotta give him a shout out because I see it every time. Shout out to Edwin Moore. I'm gonna say it again. Shout out to Edwin Moore. He gonna watch this. I know he is. And when you do, shout out to you, brother. And I'm gonna tell you why. I look at all the analytics. I look at everything, dang near every day. It don't matter what show it is. It can be this show. It could be Crystal show. It could be Maya show. Edwin is in there and he is comment. He watch it from beginning to end, and he will comment on every single one like he watching it live. And hey, so shout out to Edwin Moore, man. Great supporter. We appreciate him. Matter of fact, we appreciate all our subscribers, all our viewers, all our listeners. If you listen to us on the podcast as well. So yeah, but I just wanted to make sure I shouted him out, man, for his continued support. All right. Any final thoughts on this topic? Dope. All right, and then let's keep it going, man. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversations about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more, man. Y'all go ahead and smash that like, daddy. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passioneers Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and network. Just type in Real Talk That Talk, except for Apple Podcasts, where you can just type in Talk That Talk. Before I go to the next topic, there was one thing I forgot to mention. I know at the beginning of the show we talk about all the great things that happened to us and all that kind of stuff. It was one thing I forgot, man. I was a little bit modest about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. I just did a commercial for YouTube. I did a commercial I want to say about two weeks ago for YouTube. So a lot of people who don't know, I'm a voice actor as well. So I do voice acting on, so they just dropped the YouTube commercial. So I was really excited about it. I was trying to be modest about it, but my wife was like, "Man, you got to tell people." And I was like, "I don't want to tell people. I don't really care." And then she made me show my kids, and then my kids was like extra excited and stuff. But yeah, so that was the other thing that happened. Yeah, so I did a commercial for YouTube. So there we go. I can put YouTube on my resume now. All right, here we go. Next topic. Should we continue to be critical of music education programs? Should we continue to be critical of music education programs? Portia, go ahead and start it.
Absolutely. Anything that is not being evaluated is not going to grow, is not going, and we should want the best for our students, for our culture. We should be everything that is great, and at every level of our lives, even our careers, there are evaluations. We should be continuing to ask the questions that are going to get our programs, our schools in a position to be better, to grow, to meet the changing needs of the students. So absolutely, I don't see any reason to not do it. Now, if everything is always negative and we not offering solutions, to me that's ridiculous. But as long as we continue to have conversations about how we drive this thing forward, how we improve it, and take action, be a part of the change, then I don't see anything wrong with it. To me, it takes people who came through these programs, who are doing it every day, to be a part of that solution, not just have the conversation, not just be critical, but to be a part of the difference. I think absolutely. And if we don't talk about them, if we're not evaluating them, they don't get better. They stay stagnant or they die. So that's my response.
All right. Maya, should we continue to be critical of music education programs?
Sí se puede. No, for sure. Because I mean, the way I see it is, I mean, what's the saying? Let sleeping dogs lie, or what? However it goes. What's the point of having a conversation? That goes back to the conversation that we just had about impacting the culture. Everything needs to be impacted. Everything needs to be not necessarily picked apart, but brought to the forefront. There needs to be conversations that are had, especially if there are areas of opportunity. The only way that those areas of opportunity are going to be approved upon, or that we're going to get those opportunities into the light, or into the spaces, or into the environments where things can actually be pushed upon, approved upon, and moved forward, it's doing so by having those conversations, putting those different communities and letting people know that this is something of value. This is something that we care about. So absolutely, until the masses feel satisfied, and even thereafter, because something can always continue to be improved upon, why would we not? There are so many things that are quote unquote lacking, from leadership to the education itself, that can be done. So I think we should absolutely continue to be critical. Just because it's critical does not necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Whether you say it's a critique, or we're not criticizing it, we're just being critical of it, and sharing what can be done, and what placements can be put forth. So yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Quan, you think we should continue to be critical of music education programs?
I think the consensus is we should, but I think our approach needs to be better for our culture, because every situation and circumstance is different. What I mean by that is, if you look at a program, for example, if it's a young band director that's trying to develop and build a program from scratch, like, I shouldn't see people in the comments talking about they trash, they this, they that, in a negative manner. You should speak about, like, you should research, in my opinion, and this is what I do. And I know I can't expect every person to think the way that I think, of course, but I do expect a person to research that school, to be like, well, why is it like this? And I think we need to start asking, excuse me, why, instead of pointing the finger and laughing and diminishing and exacerbating these music programs, to truly understand why. I think that's the only thing that I think I've disagreed with Rick, just overall, as if I've been knowing him. I know his philosophy is that there's no bad bands, there's bad band directors. And I'm gonna take it a step further. I don't think it's all bad band directors, but I think it's also bad administrators that sometimes affect the environment of a music program overall. If you got an administrator that doesn't support you, you know damn well it's going to be hard for that program to grow and thrive. Just period. And I know many of us are faced with those same circumstances and situations, and we make critique is not a problem. I do agree with Portia. What Portia said is we need to figure out how can we help. We need to have more resolvers than people just shit talking. I think, and that's overall for the culture period. But it's nothing if Julian told me, Saquon, I think your trumpets needs to fix this, blah, 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 blah. That is critiquing. And I think people, we don't know the difference between critiquing and criticizing. Like, we don't know those two. To critique is to say, this is the issue, and then this is how you fix it. To criticize is that they ain't shit, they ain't gonna be shit, and you ain't gonna be shit either. Have a good day. And I think we need to fix that approach overall. Bill Cosby said, with the dabness, with the steak on the garbage, about to that person to even grow and learn. I think we as a Black people, as a culture, as people, we need to do better with that. And we need to approach people in love, because it's about the kids. It's going back to the kids. It's not about views and likes. It's about the kids. So how can we improve the kids that go home to some messed up situations? How can we improve the kids? So if the kids are the main focus about it overall, we're going to be straight. But don't be shit talking that band director if it's about the kids and you don't know his backstory.
So you said a lot of great stuff, which made me think about this. What about the band directors who are so passionate about their kids and their programs that they mistake critiquing for criticizing?
Then that's a you issue. And see, like that's the dichotomy we deal with. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I think me as a musician, but you also have to surround yourselves around a community or a village of people to where when they tell you, say, fam, that shit's up, you don't get offensive. You be like, you swallow it, you be like, all right, how can I fix it, bro? You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Because the truth is, anybody that comes from my kids, I'ma feel some type of way. But if I have a rapport with you, and even your approach, you know what I'm saying? That makes it the difference. I won't be offended. So, for example, Luke, Portia, Maya, Rick, whomever that I know, Crystal, they would say, "Hey, Quan, real talk. You need to fix that." Okay, well, what I need to do? That's different from y'all niggas trash. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the big difference. And I think people are so hypersensitive to where it's like you missed the point of what I'm saying because you got offended. And maybe you got offended because maybe I don't know that your principal didn't give you a budget, that your kids, because they stay in low housing income, so they can't practice at night in their apartments. Like, I don't know that. So if I'm coming at you sideways, you're going to react like that because I don't know the backstory. You feel what I'm saying? But if we come at people in love about those